You have been lucky, she said to him on parting. One door after the other is being opened to you. How does that come about? Have you a charm? Siddhartha said, yesterday I told you I knew how to think, to wait, and to fast, but you did not consider these useful. But you will see that they are very useful, Kamala. You will see that the stupid samanas in the forest learn and know many useful things. The day before yesterday, I was still an unkept beggar. Yesterday, I already kissed Kamala, and soon I will be a merchant and have money and all those things which you value. Listen, Kamala, when you throw a stone into the water, it finds the quickest way to the bottom of the water. It is the same when Siddhartha has an aim, a goal. Siddhartha does nothing. He waits, he thinks, he fasts, but he goes through the affairs of the world like the stone through the water without doing anything, without bestirring himself. He is drawn and lets himself fall. He is drawn by his goal, for he does not follow anything to enter his mind which opposes his goal. That is what Siddhartha learned from the Samanas. It is what fools call magic, and what they think is caused by demons. Nothing is caused by demons. There are no demons. Everyone can perform magic. Everyone can reach this goal if he can think, wait, and fast. These are excerpts from Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. And it's a great connection and a great timing. I finished this book in 2 days. It's the second time I've read this book. And it's a perfect book to finish reading after Carl Jung's memoir. And if Jung's book was mainly about one question: who am I beneath these identities, projections, and unconscious material? Then Siddhartha takes the next step. Once you realize you cannot simply inherit someone else's path, how do you actually live your own? So Jung gives the psychological language of individuation. Siddhartha gives the lit version of it. You cannot borrow another person's wisdom. Siddhartha moves through teachers, systems, identities, the Brahmins, the Samanas, the Buddha, Kamala, Kamaswami, Vasudeva, and eventually understands something simple and difficult. Knowledge can be taught, but wisdom has to be lived. And I recognize this movement in myself. I followed the shamans and searched for answers, and I found those answers. I followed many plants. I've done many different things. And I kind of absorbed something and I learned from something from them. And from the Yawanawa and the spirituality and shamans and plant medicines, I learned the language of energy, spirituality, life force, plant medicines, and the power of plants. And that's maybe where I actually found interest for reading Carlos Castaneda in the first place many years ago. Yeah, but like I want to grow my own cannabis, and the Yawanawa people, they kind of oppose cannabis. It's a different feminine energy plant, and everyone's kind of like super tuned to their plants. I don't want to teach, I don't want to remain a wanderer like Siddhartha or teach like the Buddha or Jesus. I want to travel, I want to build things, I want to build a family, I want to build a home. This is why, in this moment, reading the book between finishing reading Jung and then reading this, I finished this book in a very symbolic moment today as well, because I got accepted to study mechatronics. I got accepted to this school today. And I'm following my curiosity under constraint, which is also something that I'm learning from, that can be kind of intertwined from all of these books. Here's another thing that I'm gonna, it's gonna be a short episode, I guess. Also for many reasons, because I understand that doing these book episodes isn't it. I have many books that I've listed out that I want to read, but I'm like, it's not realistic to do all of these things. Like, if you want to maximize, you got to minimize. So that means I got to focus. But right now I'm kind of applying the methodology of systems over goals in my life and following my intellectual curiosity. Reading these books, making content is something that I really enjoy. But at the same time, I realize I won't have time to do these contents if I'm going to do everything that I want to do. Probably going to build my own project. I'm going to go study mechatronics. I'm going to continue sharing and educating if there's anyone following or reading or hearing what I have to say. And I'm going to continue learning and building while focusing on my health and family. So that's the dance of life. Here's something from Hermann Hesse. But today he only saw one of the river's secrets, one that gripped his soul. He saw that the water continually flowed and flowed, and yet it was always there. It was always the same, and yet at every moment it was new. Who could understand and who could conceive this? He did not understand it. He was only aware of a dim suspicion, a faint memory, divine voices. It's all God, man. Even here, even in this book, it's all God. Everyone is questioning this. I got some good. Okay, so in this, a bright smile spread over Vasudeva's face. Vasudeva was the guy he was another one of pretty much his last teachers, who he already had encountered. It's like we encounter God, we forget, and we kind of try to find him again. Yes, Siddhartha had said, is this what you mean? That river is everywhere at the same time. At the source, at the mouth, at the waterfall, at the ferry, at the current, in the ocean, and in the mountains, everywhere, and the present only exists for it. Not the shadow of the past, nor the shadow of the future. That is it, said Siddhartha. And when I learned that, I reviewed my life, and it was also a river. And Siddhartha said, Siddhartha the boy, Siddhartha the mature man, Siddhartha the old man were only separated by shadows, not through reality. Siddhartha's previous lives were also not in the past, and his death and his return to Brahma are not in the future. Nothing was, nothing will be, everything has reality and presence. It is so, nodded Vasudeva. The voices of all living creatures are in its voice, and do you know? And do you know, continued Siddhartha, what the word it pronounces when one is successful in hearing all 10,000 voices at the same time? Vasudeva laughed joyously. He bent towards Siddhartha and whispered the holy Om in his ear, and this was what Siddhartha had heard. Someone sometimes God talks to us. And this it's pretty wild to kind of like experience this. So it's like this is number 2. What Carl Jung talked in his book is like there's always this kind of like mysterious presence around us. Kind of like when we're starting to catch the note, it feels like it's true. I didn't take that much notes, but I'm gonna finish reading them. This is what my episode is gonna be today. Maybe it's kind of all over the place. I'm like talking like this and like that. It's because I made these notes with the help of Grok AI. Here's something from not Carl Jung, but Carlos Castañeda and the teachings of Don Juan. He would say, does this path have a heart that I'm pursuing? And I was asking myself, I'm listening to myself, yeah, man, this path has heart. I like reading this, I like making content, and I want to connect with people all over the world. I'm gonna learn how to be better in online and social media. Studying mechatronics is a 2-year course. I already have a bachelor's degree in finance and accounting. Finished startup school. I haven't found what I want to build. Now, this is maybe the biggest question, but I'm getting there. And studying mechatronics is going to make me. It's going to be. This path has heart, because I feel like studying mechatronics is going to give me It's going to give me a good foundation of maths and physics and engineering, and this is something. It's also it's like. This path has heart, because this is another, like, this is how I this is the idea I had, and Grok kind of reworded, but I couldn't have chosen this path 5 years ago. Earlier, I wanted freedom from structure. Now I'm voluntarily choosing it, structure. I'm not saying I've arrived, I'm saying I finally have footing. And that means, and this constraints and momentum and small wins and getting accepted. There's a small win. Doing this episode is a small win. Working out daily is a small win. Being with my family daily is a small win. It's a good system. And getting these kinds of foundations, like from mechatronics, I wouldn't have had to, like, this is what David Sinra says. He's learned it from many founders, and he says, belief comes before ability. And I didn't have the belief. I remember my school days, mechatronics and physics and mathematics were really hard for me. And I kind of lost myself. I didn't have to have the space and time to study it. And now I do. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. And this is a cool way to study, because I get to study in the evenings. My school is at evenings. I will probably get a 6-month internship in an engineering company. I will try to find something cool for myself. And all the while I'm going to be building, I'm going to be experimenting and building with agents and code, and ideally to build something like my own, I don't know, Basecamp or Dyson or Valve or MailChimp or a Tesla. Something that serves the world is cool, and I would like to work on for the rest of my life and provides for the lifestyle I want. Here's something interesting. Okay. Yeah, also, as I said, I'm probably going to discontinue the regular book reading in summary format. Probably because I want to build and share. I've said this before. I feel like these books, that they take a long time. I don't vibe with the pace of this. I would rather build, focus on one thing, or even if I'm going to study mechatronics, I might share stuff that I learned from there and how I integrated what I'm building. And like all of this kind of also integration from where I've been and my spiritual stuff and where I'm going. And this is what it is like. Life is always flowing, and I'm like finding my center there. And I'm feeling this is really cool, because I like what I'm working on. I like my family. I like being healthy. This stuff, what I'm doing on, has a future. I've experienced enlightenment. All of this I'm going to be in this body for some certain time. So I want to make the best of it. I want to be with my kids. I want to see them grow up, and I want to be and impart my wisdom to them so they have a good life. That's the goodness I can share with the world. And I want to see the Yawanawa. I like those people. So I want to see those people as well. And I want to share this world with my family. Yeah. Jung ends with the image of people trying to prove the existence of elephants by pure logic without ever having seen one. Real knowledge is experience. Don Juan's plans show rather than explain. Inspiration is perishable. You have to act. That was actually from WeWork by the DHH. The danger of a successful persona. Siddhartha becomes the rich merchant, the perfect lover, the gambler, and still feels empty. The persona is necessary to function, but believing it is the trap. Integration instead of purity and escape. And this is where like systems over goals. Siddhartha has to live a worldly life. And I experienced enlightenment. I'm like, dude, why isn't this stuff working out? Like, if I had such a nice energy, why is there a world still kind of showing its resistance against me? I'm like, kind of like what Jesus probably felt, you know? I don't want to say that I'm Jesus, but I kind of am. I felt that level of consciousness and vibration. And yeah, so I'm like, you cannot become whole only by developing the traits you admire. You also have to meet what you exclude. And this is the exactly thing. Like the Yawanawa and the plant medicine, like I want to grow my own cannabis. I want to listen to the music of the Yawanawa and take my children there. I want to travel the world, and I want to build something for the rest of my life. And like, I'm not sure. Like, I mean, I'm one thing that I can do with these books, but I'm not that excited about it, is I could become really good at the craft of reading this book, distilling this information, and building something and doing these videos. Like, I can improve the quality of these videos and the content and the way I sell it, and I could probably offer build a following, offer ads to companies. I could advise CEOs. I could do a lot of stuff with this, but it doesn't excite me. That's the thing. And I put this house for sale today, and I'm thinking like, dude, did I do the right thing? Another thing, every place has different kinds of energy. Like, I was at my mom's place, and then I come here. I'm like, dude, do I have to? Do I have? Is it studying mechatronics the right thing? Maybe I should go study psychology and philosophy, because I can integrate all the spiritual and energy stuff and plant medicine into there. I could help people. And then I'm like, it doesn't excite me. And then I'm like, this house, do I need to sell it? And like, I'm kind of comfortable here, even though it's not the ideal place. I don't like my neighbors; they don't like me. But then I'm like, but there's like, if we sell this, there's a pretty cool plot here by the sea in the same village. And I'm thinking, man, that's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. I would actually, I'm willing to do that shift, even if it takes time and energy. But it's exciting to live by the sea and wake up and see the ocean. It's a different thing. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Just like, the river laughed. Yeah, he's talking how Siddhartha, when he was a young man, he asked his father, and his father was very, because he was a prince, um, or from like the highest caste of people in India at the time, and he wants to give up all everything and go find his own path, and his father is really restricted. And then eventually he's pretty old now, and he's seen the world and had a lot of experience, and then his son shows up, and he's left with the son, and the son doesn't respect him, and he kind of wants to go his own way. And he's like, dude, it's so hard that I had, like, I want. Then he's like, dude, what did my father think about that? And there's like circles in life, you understand? Because he's like, the river laughed. Yes, that's how that was how it was. Everything that was not suffered to the end and finally concluded recurred, and the same sorrows were undergone. Yeah, because his father has also surfaced the same pain that he had to surface. Yeah, Vasudeva was like someone just listening to him. Pretty interesting. I love this book. It's a great book. It's a short read. Just finding uh, from that hour, Siddhartha ceased to fight against his destiny. There shone in his face the serenity of knowledge, of one who is no longer confronted with conflict of desires, who has found salvation, who is in harmony with the stream of events, with the stream of life, full of sympathy and compassion. Yeah. Um, Surrendering himself to the stream, belonging to the unity of things, having Vasudeva, the ferryman, for a long time. Now it is completed. Farewell, farewell hut, farewell river, farewell Siddhartha. And so he went away. Siddhartha watched him with great joy and gratitude. He watched him, saw steps full of peace, his face glowing, his form full of light. And that was his teacher, his last teacher. And then he becomes a holy man. Just wonderful, a wonderful book. It's a beautiful book also. Okay, so this is when he's already full circle. He's meeting his his meeting his like childhood friend with whom he set on this path. By the way, this tea is tea from my land, from Hiiumaa. Every time I drink it, it's made of flowers, and I feel like I get a connection. It gives me energy to my own land. And that is also makes me think, like, I could give up everything as well and go and try to find something. But what am I seeking? If I'm going to go and find, I'm like, I have my family and dogs here, and this energy that is connected to my own land, it gives me strength. How is that? Asked Govinda. When someone is seeking, said Siddhartha, it happens quite easily that he only sees the thing that he is seeking, that he is unable to find anything, unable to absorb anything, because he's only thinking of the thing he is seeking. Because he has a goal, because he is obsessed with his goal. Seeking means to have a goal, but finding means to be free, to be receptive, to have no goal. You, O worthy one, are perhaps indeed a seeker, for in striving towards your goal, you do not see many things that are under your nose. And I feel so as well. Oftentimes like, dude, I want to find a business idea. I'm like, what do I build? And even now, I'm thinking about this. I'm like, but is this it? Is this what I have to build? Because I'm thinking, yeah, this this AI system and agentic system that I built for like finding all of these connections and ideas from the books I've previously read, and the agent reads it and kind of like summarizes it. It saves a lot of time. Like, is that what I want to build? I want to build something else, There's one thought I have had, Govinda, which you will again think is a jest or folly. That is, in every truth, the opposite is equally true. As above, so below the 7 Hermetic principles. For example, a truth can only be expressed and enveloped in words if it is one-sided. Everything that is taught and expressed in words is one-sided. Only half the truth. It all lacks totality, completeness, unity. When the illustrious Buddha thought about the world, he had to divide it into samsara and nirvana, into illusion and truth, into suffering and salvation. One cannot do otherwise. There is no other method for those who teach. But the world itself, being in and around us, is never one-sided. Never is a man or a deed wholly samsara or nirvana. The potential hidden Buddha must be recognized in him, in you, in everybody. The world, Govinda, is not imperfect or slowly evolving along a path to perfection. No, it is perfect at every moment. Every sin already carries grace within it. All small children are potential old men. All sucklings have death within them. All dying people, eternal life. During deep meditation, it is possible to dispel time, to see simultaneously all the past, present, and the future. And then everything is good, everything is perfect, everything is Brahman. Therefore, it seems to me that everything that exists is good. Death as well as life, sin as well as holiness, wisdom as well as folly. Everything is necessary. Everything needs only my agreement, my assent, my loving understanding. Then all is well with me, and nothing can harm me. Yeah, this is all that I have to share with you right now. I highly recommend this small book. Read it. I think this was surely the second, if not third time I read it. And surely I did see this book and see myself and see life differently. All the best. Yoo-hoo.